is certain.
Alright.
Only music can help you to find the right way. The way you should follow today.
Yeah.
This way will take you to the best genres of music from around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
DJ Double G.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to another edition of Down the Middle. Coincidentally, it is the final one for the year. You know what I mean? Of course, my name is Gavin, and of course, with me is the ever-present host, co-host, whatever you want to call him, the man of the moment, Mr. Dexter Smith, if you want to call him that, but referring to Mr. Jazzy Daniel Smith.
Welcome on the final show for 2024. It has been a year already, eh?
Yeah,
Or something like that.
well, started somewhere in the middle of the year, so, or close to the top of the year, but it has been an eventful year, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it has been an eventful year.
Yeah, the West Indies, you know, the time you take to close your eyes and open it again, the West Indies back in the news. The Cricketing World Cup took place this year, the T20 World Cup, male and female. The
Yeah,
Blind Cricket um, World Cup
uh,
T20 took place down there in um, Pakistan. Only 7 teams getting to
yeah.
the World Cup this year because of financial issues. A whole bunch of stuff
Quote
going on
unquote,
in football, huh?
quote unquote financial reasons.
Indeed. Whole bunch of stuff going on in the various Premier Leagues around the world. Um,
Yeah, cannot forget the Olympics,
the Olympics actually took place, indeed.
Paralympics.
Paralympics, and of course the International Olympics. Um, a whole bunch of stuff taking place or took place for the year, and the footballing season. Well, in Jamaica, the ISA schoolboy um, football took place this year as well, between September and early December. And well, I think we're either heading to the closing of the tournament or it's already done. Um, both Manning Cup, the Costa Cup, Olivia Shields, Ben Francis Cup, and of course the Super Cup. High schools in Jamaica competing against each other to see who is the champion of all champions in rural and urban Jamaica. and who is the original and official champion of Jamaica as it regards to schoolboy football. And of course, the Grace Olivia Shields, well, not Olivia Shields, but the cricket, schoolboy cricket actually took place this year as well for Jamaica. And
Mm-hmm.
the JISA, the Jamaica Intersecondary, the primary schools championships actually took place this year as well. So a whole bunch of stuff to that took place as it regards to Jamaica and to the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with so much to talk about, but so little time. And of course, we still have the Parasports clip that we were supposed to play last week. Um, re baseball, blind baseball. So that is there to be had as well. So loaded show this evening, or this
Yeah.
afternoon, depending on where you are in the world.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But with all being said, one of the things that I'm very much proud of is that we were able to highlight, sports, but tends to be off the radar, especially part of the disabled sports. I'm very happy that we were able to shine a big light upon such sports, and in 2025, I'm hoping that we can cover more sports, get towards those that have, you know, various disabilities.
Well, coincidentally, on the 3rd of December, it was celebrated as World Disability Awareness Day. Um, and I
Mm-hmm.
did an interview with our good friend, Mr. Damian McLean. Good afternoon to you, sir. And of course, a whole bunch of stuff took place in Jamaica. It's a long week celebration um, of activities. They actually started with a church service on Sunday and commenced with a whole bunch of host of activities, concerts, and chit chat with the disabled community around Jamaica, and you know a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, and I just think in sport and in as it regards to down the middle, I think we should. I want it to be said that Zollyhood Radio, of course, where the magic happens, we do actually make the magic happen because a lot of persons are not focusing, they focus on the regular sporting activities, the regular cricket, football, whatever, track and field. But Zollyhood Radio stepped up and decided, hey, look, listen, we're gonna do things differently. We're not gonna only focus on the regular sporting events. We're gonna focus on events that, sports that nobody really does or talk about. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
and that, of course, includes persons with a disability. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah. So let's carry that mantle as we transition into a new year, and let's hope 2025 has some good stuff in store for down the middle and by and large Zollyhood Radio.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So whilst we are still talking about you know the past and looking out the future, let's get to the present just for a few seconds. Um, Currently, we have a match between the English and the New Zealanders, and tomorrow is going to be the first ODI as it pertains to West Indies and Bangladesh at Warner Park.
Park
So,
tickets. I see.
Alright, so
Have you any idea what time will that match be?
we will get to it, my friend. We'll get to it. Alright, so let me just give you a quick summary as to where the match between England and New Zealand is currently. In the second out of 3 test matches, England took to the bat first, and in their first innings, they were bowled out for 280.
200 and what?
80.
280.
Yeah, 280
Okay then.
in their first innings. So, with that said, the New Zealanders went in to reply, and they could only muster 125.
125. That's a lead of some 135, roughly. No.
Yeah, thereabouts.
160.
Yeah, 60, right, 65.
55, 65 thereabout.
Right. Yeah, 55. Yeah, 55. Yeah, 155.
Well, that doesn't look good.
Currently, in the second innings, the English are 378 for 5 after 76 overs. So, which means they have a lead of 523 runs.
Well, they can declare now. I don't think New Zealand will ever make 500.
Yeah, I can pretty much agree with you. I think the highest run chase was actually between West Indies and what team was it? England? Was one of the stronger teams, either England.
How long ago was this?
It was a way long ago. Remember that match where we had to get 400, I think,
Oh
and
yes,
13
yeah,
or
yeah,
20.
yeah. I think it was against England. I think it was also in the Caribbean, if my memory serves me right.
So that was the longest last innings chase. So 523 is way past that, say.
I don't think England will ever.
New
I
Zealand.
don't think New Zealand will ever make, because if they were bowled out for under 200 in their first innings, I don't see New Zealand getting nowhere close to 500. If I was England, if I was the captain of England, I would be saying, hey, look, listen, and today is what, the first day, second day?
Second day. Tonight will be the third day.
Well, yeah, I would declare from
So
yesterday.
they are 3-4 days to go. So England can declare now and say, guys, go in and do what you want. Or they can just add insult to injury and just continue batting.
When was the last time you've seen a team follow on in a match?
Follow on. That might be a while, eh? That might be a while, eh?
I just think England should just do this. Make 600, because they're like, what, 533?
Mm-hmm.
A lead of 533. So yeah, just do the addition. Put the 600 on the board.
67 more runs.
Yeah, just put the runs on the board. 600. Say, hey, look, go for it. And if you're bowled out, we say, hey, look, no problem. Go back and try chasing again. Because I don't think you will ever make it. So try make a second attempt.
Well, they don't have to make it as a second attempt because remember they were ball out for 125, so
Well, yeah, that's a done deal.
so there is no second attempt, right? So it's just get it or don't get it at all.
Well,
But even
like
even if based on how New Zealand batted the first innings, if they have to bat, they continue to bat the second innings the same with them. And if you give them two shots to get it, they probably would not get it.
well, if I was England, I would just say, okay then, fine. Well, if they're 533, I'd be like, all right, guess what? Then tomorrow morning, I'm not even gonna take the field in terms of batting. You go on and do whatever you, cause there's no way you can make 500.
Yeah. Like the English, the English would be like, I'm very sure that there is no Brian Harris in this team.
Exactly. Exactly. So
So go ahead.
go ahead. Exactly. Go ahead. I mean, I'm not the captain of the English team, but I can. So which means I can sit here and say whatever I want. But I'm.
If it was me, I would just say something great. Man, go, gone bad. Man, declare around after lunch, whatever the case is.
Yeah, that too. Which
Yeah.
means they would get probably close to 800. I've never
Yeah.
seen a team making over seven. Well, the last time I've seen a team making over 700 was England and West Indies. Coincidentally.
Coincidentally, so
And that was not today. That was more than 30 years ago,
yeah, many months ago.
as they would say. Yes, indeed. That was when West Indies was West Indies. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what they are now.
You see this?
No. Boy. So yeah, it's
So
it's a done deal. New Zealand,
yeah,
it's a done
it's
deal.
a done, it's a done deal. That's
And what? England has the first test in hand,
yeah,
right? So they're leading one
yeah,
nil
yeah,
with this match and another to go. Um,
yeah.
uh, England has already won the series, so
Yeah,
let's just
they
say
have one.
it is
They have,
England's series to lose.
yeah, exactly.
So, and I don't see that happening. So, if I was the captain, I'd be like, hey, look, go on. I'm not gonna even give you until after lunch. Just go.
Yeah, I want to get home early.
Just go, because there's nothing else. Unless, like you said, England wants to add insult to injury by scoring another 200, and they still have
Exactly. I'm
5 wickets in hand. So it is very possible.
it is very, very much possible. And give them an entire 2 days to get it.
Yeah, and that they won't.
Like in the New Zealand says, this is your Christmas gift. Enjoy.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
and I think
Alright.
if my memory serves me right, I think England after this series should have the Australians to play in the big game for the year. So
Yeah.
um, coming off this win, the series win to are they gonna if they're gonna play one days and T20s, there won't be enough time to play the Australians. So because I think that game normally starts on Boxing Day.
Yeah, we will see.
But yeah, like I said, England already has this in hand, so it is their game to lose, and I don't see them doing it.
Exactly. I don't think they can lose it even if they try.
It's like a keeper behind the stumps. The hardest thing for him to do is drop the ball.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see exactly how that goes.
Let's see how that goes. So let's transition into the match between Bangladesh and the West Indies tomorrow at 9:30 a.m.
9:30 a.m.
at 1 o'clock.
That would be 8:30 JA time.
Yes, indeed. And I have the West Indies squad in front of me. So let me just briefly go through the squad.
And of course, the West Indies, the Bangladeshis, the test match is pretty done and dusted. And we all know exactly how that match ended.
Yeah, one apiece.
Heading into, 3-1 days?
Yeah, 3-1 days.
So, let's see who will take this specific series. Which means there is no draw here in the series, guys, unless rain falls. So, yeah.
Somebody has to win.
Somebody has to win this series.
All right. And to start the lineup, we have Brandon King, we have Evan Lewis, we have Mr. Carty, Mr.
Casey Carty, who was a substitute. Well, no, he was actually a substitute in the previous game, I think, but then no, he actually played both games. I think, wasn't he one of the Centurions in the first game?
No.
He wasn't. No, okay.
Wasn't him. Then we have Shafin Rutherford. We have.
Finally, he's back in the West Indies squad after however how long that is. I think he needs more test match under his belt, though.
Shimron Hetmeyer,
who also needs more test matches under his belt.
I can guarantee you this, my friend. A test match is becoming a dying breed, like we discussed in the last.
Yeah, but you see, you have to be able to look on, for example, the transition that our good friend, what's his name now? He made a century in the first game. He transitioned that from the previous tournament straight into the West Indies setup. And
it will be nice if it got more. But chances are he ain't going to get it because most of those players, when your entry into cricket before was test, and then if you do well in test, they put you in 1 days. Right now, you play 2020 even before you play 1 day.
Look on Shamar Joseph, for example.
So
he actually made his debut in a test match. And you rarely see that happening nowadays, like you said.
Yeah. So you don't see people making their debut in test cricket like you said before. So we have Shafin Rutherford, like I mentioned, Shimon Hetmeyer, we have Justin Greaves.
Yes, sir. That's the man I was referring to. Justin
Yeah.
Greaves.
Yeah,
Um,
he is part of the one D squad.
which is a good look. Let's see.
Yeah.
Now,
Um.
now, the onus is on him now to carry over whatever he did in the test match into the one days.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a shorter version of the test match, but hey,
You have no other choice.
consistency is key and the thought process is key.
Yep. We have Romario Shepherd.
It's been a while since I've actually seen this dude.
Yeah. And then we have Ruston Chase.
Question. Do you think Roston Chase should have been in the test series? In the test squad?
He should, but
But my
Shut up,
question,
Colin.
well, my question then is, if you're gonna put Roston Chase in the test series that just ended, who would you replace him for, or with? Who would you replace for Chase?
that is the thing. You see, when it comes to who you put in and who you're going to move. Because if you ask me, should he have been? I said, yeah, you should have been. But now the question is, now who do I replace him
Exactly.
with?
Because we can sit here and count on our hands how many persons we think should have been in the test series, but who would who would we actually switch for them?
Yeah.
Because everybody
Yeah, I
has
think-
been performing. Everybody had, everybody performed pretty decent. Pretty decent in the test match, in the test
Yeah.
series. So I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. We have Ahmed Django.
Amir Django, who coincidentally the analysts spoke of last week when we played that clip. He performed
Yes,
pretty
he
well
did.
in the just concluded Super 50.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to see that they are listening to the talk shows, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's a left-hander batsman and wicketkeeper.
Well. Okay then.
Mm-hmm. We have Shea Hope, who is the captain
And keeper as well.
and keeper.
Chances
And
are
he's a
they will have hope behind the stumps.
Yeah. Yeah, and he is a right-hander batsman. Yeah. My thing is this. Yeah. Yeah. He more than likely will play a match or two, but I'm not saying that he's going to play all of next unless if he bats if when he has a good strike with the bat.
You're referring to Shea Hope?
No, I'm talking about Mr. Garchandra.
Well, is this the 15 the squad or
Yeah.
the 11?
The 15.
Well, chances are he might not be in the 11.
Yeah. Then we have Azari Joseph.
Who just came off a brilliant series.
We have Gurish Moti.
Gurakesh well. Okay then, with his spin attack. Okay.
We have Jaden Sills.
Jaden Seals. Alrighty then.
We have Matthew Ford. And we are going to end it off with Shamar Joseph.
So we have both Joseph in the squad. Okay then.
So this is the West Indies squad.
Do we have the squad for the Bangladeshis?
Yes, we do. It's on my left-hand side. We have, let me try to bite my tongue a little bit. We have Pervez Hussein Imon. We have Sumwa Saka. We have Kanzid Hassan. We have Alif Hussein. We have Muhammadullah. Okay, that's okay. And I have a
He
second
he
point.
he he actually was a part of the test series.
Yeah. We have Mitli Hassan Miraz, who is the captain.
Hassan Miraz. Okay.
Who is the captain? We have Jaka Ali,
Who was a part of the test series.
who is the wicketkeeper. We have Litton Das, another wicketkeeper.
Well, chances are Linton Das will be back behind the stumps again.
Yeah. We have Hassan Mahmoud.
Who was a star bowler in the series before.
Yeah. And Hamid Rana. We have Nasum Ahmed. We have Rishad Hussein. Shafuful Islam, who was part of the previous test squad.
Yes, sir.
We have Tasmin Hassan Ski. And we have Tasmin.
Taskin, who was also a part of the test squad.
Yeah. So that is the 15-man.
So they basically did exactly what the West Indies did, carry over a lot into the one days, which is a good look. Which means a lot of these boys know exactly what they're up against on both teams because they've technically faced a lot of these players some days ago. So
yeah. So nothing new. As it pertains to the probability, it leans in the West Indies' favor going into the first ODIs. 75-25. So we shall see.
boy.
So that's where we are in terms of that.
Well, let's see exactly how that goes. The first match, like you said, bowls off at 8:30
Tomorrow?
GA, 9:30 Eastern Standard. So, barring rain, etc., because we all know exactly how it goes in the Caribbean.
Yeah, but I don't really know any surprises.
Well, you're looking at the West Indies, so surprises. Firstly, I hope nobody walks off the pitch.
Well, from what we know, there shouldn't be any reason for them to walk off the pitch.
I hope there's no reason for them to walk off the pitch, and I hope that they take the toss tomorrow and not sit on the balcony and have drinks or had fun like the Jamaicans and the Bajans in the finals of the Super 50 match some weeks ago.
Which you may be from that.
Say again?
From that. I have not heard any updates as it pertains to that.
Um, there is no um available updates right this minute. Um, so we well are continued. Well, I'm trying to see how best we can have some information before the 13th or by the 13th. Once I have information, of course, I can pull you in studio at any time to have a small discussion as it regards to that or give an update as it regards to the uh, disciplinary um,
Yeah.
if there is, which I'm sure there is going to
Okay.
be, but uh, like like we said last week, the West Indies Cricket Board, they had issued a press release less than 24 hours or within 24 hours after the whole incident, but nothing substantial. So I'm guessing that the Bajan Cricket Club and the Jamaica Cricket, well, the Bajan Cricket Association and the Jamaica Cricket Association, they're putting their information together to be released. Not sure exactly when that will be, but as soon as we have our hands on it, we will let you all know.
Yeah. Okay. I just stumbled upon something else. Just a little bit of a history. Let me just see if I can zoom in there. So, in England, Zach Crawley created a little bit of a history in the match going on with New Zealand. Right, so the English batter Zach Crowley achieved a remarkable test record by smashing a six in the opening over against the New Zealand in Wellington after the captain Tom Salmon elected to fill um, first. Crowley aims a quick start whilst trying to find okay. So it looks like an opening six in a test match is not usually uh,
So,
it's a red
so
flag.
are you saying that the first delivery faced in this test
Yeah,
match was a six?
yeah, yeah. And it said that the previous two instances occurred in the same over when West Indies Chris Gayle struck Sugangazi, whatever I pronounce his name, for two sixes during a test match against Bangladesh match in 2012.
Which I think, well. So, the English are in the, well, they're saying, I guess they're saying, Mr. Henry Gale, you did that some 20, what, some 10, 10, 12 years ago. I can do it too, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So
Well
like I
done,
said,
well done to that specific English batsman. Well done.
yeah,
Invoking your name, writing your name in the history book of the, you know, into the cricketing history
yeah,
books.
yeah.
10,
Opening,
12.
opening, opening the opening the test match with
Yes,
sixes.
yes, indeed. Um, I'm sure after you've called your career quits, you can sit back and relax and realize and remember, hey, I remember, 10, 12, 15 years ago when I did this against New Zealand. Well, that would be one of the worst times in New Zealand's life.
Yeah,
Because that has never happened before until Christopher Henry Gale did um,
yeah,
twice in one over. The very
yeah.
first
Sure.
over of that test match on the very first day when
Yeah,
Christopher Henry Gale did it against the Bangladeshis.
You know what? Speaking of Christopher Gale, when we look at Chris Gale, we see Chris Gale as a dominant batsman, but you don't often associate him with tests.
Well, you don't normally associate Christopher Henry Gale with Test, but do remember that he has a 333 not out.
That's what I was about. That's what I was about to. That's what I was about to go into. Because when we see Chris Gale, we see him as okay, it's 2020 one B, but test match.
Christopher Henry Gale will use 25 deliveries or 20 deliveries or probably less to make 100. That's the Christopher Henry Gale we know of.
Yeah.
So that one-off triple century was, and then but do remember that Dwayne Brav, I think wasn't it one of the Bravos actually has.
Let me ask you a funny question.
Uh-huh.
Let me ask you a funny question. Okay, now that the senior men have retired in West Indies cricket, which of the current batsmen do you think will get to a triple century, make a triple century in a test match?
Can I think about this?
You can think.
I'll give you my answer before the end of the show.
The reason why I'm asking this question, because now what has the senior man has retired. But yes, we saw a couple of West Indian cricketers got to 100, right? But how many of them can bat long enough to get to the 200 mark? How many of them can bat consistently to get into a 300 mark? Because you're looking at the Gales and the Laras and so forth. Those people, they could have gotten.
The last person I see doing that, he actually made 375, equaling the Brian Lara. Not Brian Lara, but Sir Garfield Sober's 375, and that was, if my memory serves me right, Darren Bravo.
But that was not today. Those people.
That was not today.
That's what I'm saying, my brother. Those people, those senior people, we can say what we want about them, but they have represented each format of the West Indies of cricket with some level of, yeah, guys, try to get that. Like Gale, as much as we associate Gale with one day and 2020, Gale could tell you, well, I made 300 or something, try to get that, eh? Good luck.
Well, 375 is 275 is it's achievable if you put your mind to it. And remember, it was in the same 5 days, within the same 5 days that Christopher Henry Gale made that 333 not out.
Yeah.
So it's not like there is a test match that the test match has dropped a day or it has improved a day. It's the same 5 days. And he made that inside of 5 days. And it's, like I said, it's not like the only time he went into the pavilion was when it was close of play.
Yeah. So that also show you, and let's not even get talking about the Brian hours 400.
Or the 501 not out.
What you had to think out of my friends? Where did you have to think it out of my?
And both of those scores were not out in innings. 400 not out and 501 not out.
So what we need Yes, if we have batsmen who are able to excel at both or all three of the formats, all well and good. But we need to start developing batsmen that are qualified batsmen or players in a particular section. We need,
You know what the weird thing is? You know what the weird thing is? The great Shivnarayan Chandrapal. He will use 5 days to make 20. But guess what? At the end of the 5 days, win, lose, or draw, is that he actually stuck to the task and put the opposition under pressure. Even though he made 20 from 500 deliveries. If the West Indies, if at least one person can sit, or in this case, stand in the crease for as long as it takes to do so, I mean, if you get the 50 or the 100 or whatever, that's fine with me, but there's something called frustration. If you can frustrate the bowlers for hours, especially we know how the Caribbean is when it comes to the climate, how hot the climate is, have the opposition running up and down on the pitch, blazing sun hot. At some point in time, they will start doing things that you would want them to do, which means start bowling weird, so you have the deliveries to dispatch. How many centuries does Shivnarayan Chandrapal have? I'm sure not a lot. But guess what? He achieved those, even if it takes 500 deliveries to score every one. The point is, he frustrated the bowlers. And I don't see that with the West Indies now, because you get a quick 20, a quick 10 there every now and then, a quick fire 50, compulsory when you get 100. But they're just not carrying on.
They're not carrying on. They're not carrying on.
Not knowing that when you're not out, it boosts your stats.
Yep.
I
These
don't.
are the things.
Well,
These are the
well. Which means I guess you've gotten the answer for the question. Then I don't see anyone doing it, at least anytime soon.
I think you are pretty much nearly on the head. Let's see who can.
Because if you're going to make a quick fire 50 or a quick fire 20 there, or quick fire, well, a quick fire 50, a quick fire 90 there, and where they are getting out is another atrocious thing to talk
Well,
about.
to answer your question, Shivnarayan Chandrapal has played 167, 164 test matches, and in those he has 166 fifties.
30 hundreds. What is his highest out of the hundreds?
203.
203. How many did it
Yeah.
show exactly how many
No,
deliveries?
no. No, it doesn't give that deliveries. No, wait, it does. Balls 1,740 balls.
To make that 203?
I think maybe I think if I'm correct. Yeah, but it would have been a lot.
That's the point I'm trying to make. 203.
I think the boss was about people. I think as a bowler.
Say again?
So that's the amount of balls that he bowled as a bowler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which he took nine wickets.
I've never seen Shiv with the ball in hand unless he catches the ball.
Well, I'm just letting you know that he has, from what I see, that he has goal in all formats of the game.
Oh, wow. Okay then, Mr. Shiv. Well, the point is 203, whether not out or otherwise. I don't see the West Indies I don't see one person actually making 150. The Shea Hope, for example, Shea Hope is not the Shea Hope I know maybe 10 years ago or 5 years ago. I think since Shea Hope has actually made that double century, he has just failed. And the team he made that double century against was a fairly good team. I don't see anybody else outside of that making at least 150 because they don't have the consistency or the mindset to convert 50s into hundreds, hundreds into 150s, and 150s into 200s. One thing Shivnarine, Chanda Paul, and Chris Gale will always tell you, as much as Chris Gale is known as the junior master blaster apart from Sir Viv Richards, he will tell you this. Start thinking of the first 20 runs. Then let's add another 10 to it. And then another 10 to it. And then another. So if the West Indies have that mindset, they will reach far. If you don't have that mindset, then you're going to be in trouble. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct, right. Yeah, so that's the reason why I asked that, just for us to get us perspective of where we are in terms of cricket and where we need to get to. Because, if we can think of one batsman currently that can say, okay, can get to 150 or 200 or 250 or even a 300 on any given good day, with problems. With problems.
I don't see that happening anytime soon. That's all I'm saying.
So, because I can even follow up that question and ask, okay, now if who can compare, for example, a China Paul 2?
No one.
Currently, or Dwayne Bravo or Darren Bravo.
Wait, hold on. If you're asking that question, I will tell you the only person I can compare to Chandra Paul is Chris Gale. Who to compare Chris Gale with? Darren Bravo. Who to compare Darren Bravo with? No one.
Well, you said that you compared them to.
But if you're talking about comparing Shiv himself with anyone, no one in this current era of the West Indies team. No.
And I'm guessing you will see the same people for Darren Bravo, Dwayne Bravo, Gale. But there's not anybody who can get Gale now.
No, listen. If you want me to compare anybody to a Chris Gale, they have to prove themselves. Of course, the Darren Bravos. I like I said, Shea Hope is dropping drastically. I don't see Shea Hope coming.
There is no hope for Shea Hope.
There's no hope for Shea. And I think, speaking of Shea Hope, I think, like, which is not surprising with the West Indies, Kyle Hope, who happens to be Shea's older brother, he had a brilliant start in his cricketing career, and where is Kyle now?
There's always somebody missing.
I don't.
Just one more question before we move on. Chesterfield's son, we know he has a son, and we know that we heard about the son.
Tajnarine Chandapal, who actually played in the just concluded Super 50. what's your question about Mr. Chandrapal, sir?
No, I'm saying, I know that he has a son, so I was like, okay, you couldn't even compare the father to the son.
No, because Tangerine has a lot to work on, and I
No,
well,
but, but to be honest,
and the reason for this is because I haven't seen him
well, that's what.
much.
Well, that's where I was going. That's where I was going to go. We haven't
I
seen
haven't
him.
seen him
And
much in any format of the game.
that's another.
The
That's
actual,
that's what I'm going to.
based on what I'm seeing, the only big quote unquote game I've seen Taj played was 2016 in the World Cup Finals, where he actually made his debut. But of course, he has played for the West Indies maybe once, making his senior debut for the West Indies. But and I don't think he actually had scored much, anyways. So which means technically you haven't seen Taj.
His debut was November 30th, 2022 against Australia.
My point exactly. What was his score?
I don't know what it was called, but and I think the last test that he played was January 17th, 2024 against Australia.
So he was a part of the very same squad that Joseph made his debut.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, within 2022 and 2024, how many matches has he played for the West Indies?
From what I've seen, he has played 10 test matches. But he hasn't played any one days for the West Indies. But he has played 10 test matches. He has scored 560 runs at an average of 2.94. He has 100 and 150. And the top score was, you want to guess?
100 flat?
207 not outs.
Taj!
Yes!
207 in a test match. Eclipsing his dad.
No.
Huh?
So that's it. So
Okay then. Well, he's right up there then.
But again, we don't see him.
My point exactly.
And from what based on the stats in front of us, he can box.
Yes, he can, because if you couldn't, then how is it that you made 200?
So the question is, why wasn't he in the last Bangladesh? Again, there's many people that we consider should be there, but wouldn't you want somebody that who can perform?
Now remember, Taj actually played against the big bad mighty Australia some months ago, right?
Right.
How is it that he's not in the Bangladesh, the squad for Bangladesh? And Mr. Sami said his aim is to create a brand new setup for good. So even if he doesn't play any games, actually, why not have him in a squad? To get the exposure and to see how this format of the game is played.
Yeah.
Even if he's not in my 11, which, if it was me, he would at least play one of the 2 test matches. Have him in the 15-man squad or the 16-man squad to get him to have a feel of how the game is played.
Well, I will say this. You know, we have heard a lot about him, like we have Buchanan. We don't see much of him, so that means that goes to show you that, when we don't see players for a while, we will forget what they are capable of doing. because we don't see them. But if you were to ask me, who can replace Thunderball, based on the stats there, I think Tangerine can very much step up.
Yes,
And
indeed.
you
Yes, Taj
very much.
definitely can replace his dad, but he hasn't gotten the chance to.
But the question is, will West Indies stop playing politics and allow the man to thrive?
No.
Because
You know why?
why?
Because some years ago, his dad actually had a running with the West Indies. So do you expect the son to not do the same thing? Just saying, because that's one of West Indies' fears. If the dad is crazy, what about the son?
But again, that's going to where I'm coming from. Can we stop playing politics and allow
You're not.
people who have the talent?
Well, in this case, not the West Indies. Nah, way.
Because the only thing I care about is your performance.
Yes.
Whether you talk trash about me, that's beside the point.
I don't care what you want to say about me. Now, you see, that's why I will always, and history will show you that Brian Lara, Christopher Henry Gale, well, let me not say Chris Gale, because we all know exactly what happened down in India some years ago. But Shiv Sarwan, of course, the top Sagarfield Sobers, um, you know, those men actually said this to themselves. Jazzy can speak whatever he wants to, and he can say whatever he wants to, and if he comes in front of me and say whatever he wants to, I will let the bat do my talking. That's exactly how I will answer Jazzy. Can you hit me out of the park? Of course I can.
Yeah.
As Sir Curtly Ambrose will tell you, the ball will speak for him. Can you take my wickets? Can you take my wicket? Of course I can.
Okay, come.
That's the point. With these crap of West Indies players, if I don't walk off the pitch, I can't prove a point. If I don't walk off an Australian or of an Indian tour, I won't make a point. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Pollard and Bravo and the right.
Well, picking up the rank, I think he's another one was I think got very much unfair treatment.
Yeah.
But
Well, we all know exactly how that goes with Narayan and him. One of the reasons why a lot of times when he has been picked for squad, he chose not to play is because he is still having that fear. Because do remember, he got a 2-year ban because of the fact that he and his bowling actions were not comparison. They have no comparison. So that's one of the reasons. But the thing is, how is it that you don't play for the West Indies, but you played Caribbean Premier League, you played Indian Premier League, you played every Premier League around the world? Is there a difference in terms of how you bowl?
well, I don't know if there is a difference, but I would say this: probably less scrutinize. Let's say scrutinize him less.
Say again?
Because remember, maybe he scrutinized less because remember, international cricket is one thing, and those CPLs, those Premier Leagues are a whole other thing.
But yet still he still has to be bowling within the 90-degree angle. I mean the 15 degrees angle. You
I
can't.
don't know. Well, yeah, I guess he has to, but I don't know. I think you see one thing I realize is that when we have a West Indies player who is doing well, there is always something that kicks him out.
Yeah, well,
If you
a
want,
man,
if you want to
a man who
if you want
actually,
to
a man who actually was known as the number one
mystery spinner,
in the world.
right? He was the mystery spinner. And now he's no longer a mystery because the fact that
Well, well,
he's
well, well,
actually
well, well, well. He's no longer mystery. He's history. Look on a Shane Shillingford, for example. His career actually cut short. Who happens to be a brilliant spinner. Norine and Shillingford was always the top spinners in West Indies at the time. But where are they now?
yeah, it's a quick over conception. Whether it be West Indian for picking them or the international cricket having a problem with them. If you want to be honest, if I want to be honest with you, I don't see what was the big deal with the right bowling option.
I don't see it either.
To be honest, I don't.
Well,
What the ball doesn't. What happens? The ball. You expect to bowl a ball. I bowl the ball.
I mean, look at it this way.
It's now up to you to bat it.
Look at it this way. I bowl a ball at a specific pace and at a specific angle. Once I release the ball is free to go wherever it wants to go. The breeze takes factor in the bowling takes factor in the breeze as well. Because I can bowl a ball as straight as an arrow, but the breeze says, "Hey, what? I'm gonna,
Do whatever I want.
whatever I want with it." It
But
is
for
you.
me,
It
it's
is
not
it
even
is
for me.
you. It is you, the batsman, to either allow it to crash into the stumps, or you hit me out of the park, or wherever you want to hit me.
For me, not even that. You know, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. To be honest with you, I didn't know that there must be a certain angle that the ball should
I had
be
no
bowled
idea
at.
either.
And until the rhyme came to the back, after that number was there.
But
But
I don't know because I'm sure Suleiman Ben from his time was bowling all over the place. I'm sure Sunil Gavaskar and them boys were bowling all over the place. I'm sure all the top spinners that has ever walked through the doors of the West Indies has had no issues in bowling them.
maybe they didn't have the title of mystery spinner next to their name.
Well, probably that's why. Because it's Narayan and no one else can.
My question is the ball a legitimate ball? Once the ball is legitimate, it bounces, it does what it's supposed to do. It's not a I for that again.
It's not a deflated ball, sir, where it just drops randomly. It is round, so which means it goes wherever it wants to go. And like I said, the
No,
breeze.
that's not what I'm looking for. It is not a dead ball. It's not a ball that Yeah, it's a ball that that you can play. Now it's up to you to play the ball.
Exactly. I mean, if the ball is a no ball, if he steps his well, and of course you still can't hit that ball anyway. And if you want to go for the wide delivery, if you think it is close by enough, then go for it. But if it is, whatever the case may be, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Well,
Right. But the thing is that goes back to what we said that there are a lot of politics being played in the whole cricket. And with that politics, we don't have enough men with testicular fortitude to stand up and say, no, this is crap.
well, like I said to you, going back to the question, I don't see anybody scoring a double century in the West Indies. Not today. Maybe when I'm about 50, and that is in another 28 years from now.
The only thing well, let's hope West doesn't take 28 years to develop itself.
speaking of development, I think it's time for us. It is fitting enough to walk off the pitch for a sec. What do you say?
No problem. No problem. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
What are we protesting?
Say again.
What are we protesting?
I'm protesting because management is saying they're protesting because we're not playing any ads. We're not
Let's
taking
get
any
to it.
breaks, so they're protesting, sir.
Let's get to it.
More hits, more music, more
Zollywood ready.
hits. Hey, listen. This is new hit music non-stop. Every day, every night, non-stop.
Zollywood ready.
This is
Zollywood ready.
Yes, indeed. You're still locked in and loaded inside of Down the Middle, and of course, we're having the discussion about the current crop of West Indies players. I mean, you do remember that we still have the Para Sports clip to play for you before we skedaddle out of here. And do remember, coming up 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Of course, JA time. We still have a DJ Lex with the glorious drive for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. In the meantime, between time, let's get back to
Is that DJ Lex is a cricketer by nature.
so am I. I was.
Glorious
I,
drive.
I,
This was a glorious drive.
yes, indeed, the glorious drive. That was a glorious drive through the covers. Well. Well, it actually was called a Saturday drive. I'm not sure exactly what he was driving on a Saturday, but our bosses says, hey, what? I guess he's a cricketing fan as well. He said, well, why not change it to the glorious drive? I'm guessing he was watching South Africa versus India, the World Cup. Still.
Well, I guess we haven't lost that glory.
I guess not, but South Africa has. Good day to you, sir. What time is it in South Africa now? It's after 9. Yes.
Well, yeah, after 9 where I'm at, I'm hoping that he's driving gloriously on a Saturday night.
Okay then. All right. So just to put a cap on the discussion, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, right on.
You spoke of batsmen, in terms of who will replace who, or do you think can replace who?
Uh-huh.
Who in this present West Indies squad? I mean, not I mean in general, who is playing for the West Indies right this minute? Who do you think right this minute that you can put your hand on right now to say this person can replace a Shannon Gabriel. This person can replace a Sunil Narayan. This person can replace of course he's on his way out pretty soon. I'm speaking of Mr. Alzari, well, not Alzari Joseph, but Mr. Um, Kima Roach. Who do you think right this minute, whether spinner, fast bowler, medium pacer, who do you think can replace, let's say, a Sunil Narayan or a couple of the names I mentioned?
Okay, let's start with what you were mentioning before. I think for me, a Chandler Paul, like I mentioned, I think his son, I think, is a good fit. And the reason why we didn't even think of him as being a good fit is because, again, we don't see them in action.
And do remember, Shiv
So
is the
that,
one.
so Darren Savvy, do me a favor, can you put the tangerine on a test code very frequently, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Well. He isn't the current coach of the West Indies squad from your country, sir?
Yes, it is. So before I block him, I deny him citizenship.
Mr. Sammy, you need to draft Mr. Chandra Paul in your squad, sir. Please, I ask of you.
Not Chandler Paul, Mr. Tangerine.
Yeah, Mr. Chandra Paul. You know what I mean. You need to put young Chandra Paul in your squad, sir. I beg of you.
I beg you. I beg of you, please.
Do so, sir.
Yes. Now, when it comes to somebody like a Sunil Narang, to be honest with you, Narang has some cricketing days left, so I don't even know why we want to talk about a replacement. If you were to ask me, I think he should be in the squad, end of quotation, until he decides to say, you know what, I retire in the game.
Sunil Narayan is 30 something, which means he still have at least another 4 or 5 years in his belt, under his belt.
Yeah.
But of course, he's not going to play for the West Indies because of, as we said, politics is the order of the day.
Yeah. I saw Sunil Narayan opening the batting for one of those IPL.
Yes.
Yes.
Scoring.
I didn't know you was
scoring centuries as well.
I didn't know you was an opening batter, because when we had you on the squad, you were the bottom of the ladder.
Well, not only that, but do remember when he played for Guyana Amazon Warriors or the Trinbago Knight Riders, he opened for those two teams.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about opening and just rotating the strike. I'm talking about striking ball, hammering them for sixes and fours.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sunil Narayan has room under his belt.
He has some life left. And I forgot not sure how I'm going to replace him, to be fair, to be honest.
Probably a Sunil Ambris, probably.
Maybe. Coincidentally, they have a sibling, Sunil.
or one of those top spinners in the but again, we don't have any top spinners like we had maybe 10, 12, 15 years ago anyway.
Yeah, we just don't have.
I mean, Shamar Joseph as a fast bowler is holding his own as a newbie.
I will say something. Even speaking about people, let's look at. I think Darren Savvy was a hell of a good captain when he was the captain of the West Indies team. Now,
Yes.
But who you think his captain would be? I don't know. I don't know. When we look at Darren Sammy, and I mentioned Darren Sammy because I think that was the last good captain that we had at the West Indies. Yeah, there was some up and downs, but he brought us two championships
Yes.
in 2020.
Yes. As a player and as a as player, as captain of the West Indies team, he brought us to the 2012 finals and won the finals against Sri Lanka, courtesy of Mr. Marlon Samuels, hammering Mr. Lasith Malinga all over the park. And then in 2016, with the man of the moment, Carlos Brathwaite. But remember, well, you can remember him now because he's in the commentary chair. Well, except for last week when I saw him in a Guyana Premier League match, and him being hammered out of the park twice in 1 over to save a match. But Shamar Joseph, Alzari Joseph still has a lot under his belt. But outside of that, I don't think I find not much fast bowlers. And as we this
I'll be a little bit controversy. You know, if I'm going to look at somebody who I think can be a good striker of the ball, and so maybe can be at least close to probably a Pollard or I wouldn't say Gill. Gill is an older than him. But at least at least Bravo status. No, and maybe look at the Johnson Charles.
oh boy, here we go again.
Maybe looking at the Johnson Charles.
Oh boy, where is Johnson Charles now?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
Maybe somewhere Mr. Anushka is sipping on something, I don't know.
Well, I'm sure he's not in the Johnson Charles stand.
But yeah, if you're looking at if that's if you know if he still has a few more years, if you can develop our talents so forth.
One thing I can tell you is that Johnson Charles need to work on his execution. Once he has that, he's good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's another person that I think that can be a good opening batsman. He was mentioned in the lineup there. Other than Lewis, the other guy, David, you're not trying to get now.
Who's that?
Although Evan Lewis can do a good job, If he puts, if
You know exactly who I'm thinking of right this minute, and I think he
Brandon King, that's the name I'm looking for.
King is a good striker on the ball. He will knock you out of the park if he's thinking straight.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
one person who is actually sitting on my mind right this minute is a person who, if he gets off on a good day, he will kill you. I'm speaking of John Campbell. I haven't seen John Campbell either in the Jamaican colours or the West Indies colours for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Shami, if anybody is listening to us, or you are, sir, please send us a message or give us a call, sir. We would gladly oblige for you to speak with us, sir. Please let me go
it looks like I may have some developments.
Say again?
Because remember, it looks like I just mentioned the squad to you,
Yes.
right? And I mentioned that Matthew, Shamar Joseph and Matthew Paul as one or two that. But it looks like they might be replaced for two other people. From what I said, I just saw a link there. It looks like Marquino Minley and Giddish Blades have been drafted into the West Indies men ODI squad.
Martino Midley. Well, haven't the pundits spoke about Martino Midley last week in our show?
Yes, indeed.
Haven't they spoke of Amir Django being in the squad?
Yeah.
Well,
Giddish Blades. Giddish Blades.
The question is, who have they replaced?
I want to say Shamar Joseph and Matthew Ford.
How could you replace a Shamar Joseph? How could you replace a man who is on top of the game now?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
I think
From what I'm
the only way I would replace Shamar Joseph is if he's injured or he has some family issues.
I'm getting. I mean, said that the pair will be replaced by It says that the medical team on further assessment determined that Ford must continue rehabilitation from a sustained injury. Additionally, Joseph is suffering from a spinal splint following competition of the recent test series and will be monitored by the medical staff ahead of future assignments. Meanwhile, maybe bagged the most wickets as a fast bowler in the recent CG United Super 50 tournament to earn his maiden call up. So that will be his first time playing ODI. And Blades, who is a part of the West Indies academic, snared 14 wickets in the regional tournament to receive his first call up to the squad. So both of them are making it.
Okay then. Well, the question is, let's see exactly. The question is, can they stand up to these? Can they stand up to the call?
Yeah, can they perform?
It is left to see. They have 3 test matches, 3 one-days to prove themselves. So let's see.
Yeah, if they are given the ball or the bat, but we shall see. We shall see.
Alrighty then.
Now, let's get into the clip.
So, like I said, let's walk off the cricket pitch for a bit and walk onto the baseball court for a sec. So, with the Power Sports clip, let's do this.
Now, from sports correspondents all around the world, this is Pyro Sports on
Zollyhood Radio, where the magic happens. This is Parasports. Sports with a difference where we focus on differently able sports, whether the disability may be physical or intellectual. It is your time to shine. Stay tuned each and every Saturday whilst your host, Jazzy Smith, keep you up to date with the latest news and interviews from around the world. Today, we will be looking at another sport in the para-sporting community. We will be looking at blind baseball or beep baseball. And as usual, we'll be looking at the humble beginnings of the sport. We'll be looking at the rules, the regulations, how the game is played, and we'll be looking at what is in store for blind baseball to come. Without further ado, we'll be taking it to our sports analyst, Gavin Gopi, who will be conducting an interview with two gentlemen who are very familiar with the sport. Over to you, Gavin.
Welcome to Para Sports. And my name is Gavin. Today, we have a very interesting interview for you. We are going to touch on the sport of blind baseball. Can you believe it, guys? Yes, blind baseball. And in studios today, we have Kadeem Irish, who was born in Antigua but now resides in the US of A, Florida to be exact, and Mr. Ansel Davis, player, coach, and he will be telling us all that we need to know on beep baseball for the blind. Welcome, Kadeem Irish, to Parasport.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to do this interview.
Mr. Ansel Davis, welcome, sir.
Well, thank you for inviting me on this beautiful show. I've heard a lot about it in the past couple of hours by one of my players, Kadeem Irish. One of the fastest players I got on my team.
Kadeem, tell me, in terms of the whole starting point of the sport, take us through that. When was the sport started? Who started? What exactly is blind baseball? What exactly is blind baseball, and when was it started?
Okay, blind baseball was first started in 1964, where a telephone engineer goes by the name of Charles Fairbanks. He created a softball he had some old cell phones laying around his shop, and he took the speakers out and put them in a softball. And he attached some batteries to them, to a softball, where in the middle of the ball has this stick thing, and when you pull that stick thing out, it makes the ball makes this beeping sound. So that's how beep baseball was originated.
Wow, pretty interesting, eh? Have you any idea when was the first game started, and between which two teams, and what year, etc.? What was the score line?
The first game started in 1976 when the Indiana Thunders and the Georgia Wolves played.
That game must be an interesting one. What was the score line then?
Can't be sure to be exact. I think it was 14-5, I think. Indiana Thunders, they won the World Series for the whole year that year.
You said that you started playing in 2019. How does someone make the team?
Well, you just show up for the practice, and if the coach likes the way you practice, then if you want to be a part of the team, then they will accept you if they like your performance.
Is there like a World Cup or something like that? Just the way like you have the Cricket World Cup, you have the Football World Cup, that kind of thing. Do you have like a tournament? If there is there like a team that is in charge of like a baseball association or something? Is there something like that as well?
Yeah, they have the National Association for the Blind of Baseball. They do have the World Series. The World Series is every year in a different state. Every July of every year it goes on for 1 week. Yeah. So yeah, they do have a World Series every year.
Okay. When was the first series started, and in what state? When it comes to the final, who made the finals?
The first World Series was played in Boston in 1993.
So, and it's an every year thing, I take it, based on the information here.
Wow. I mean, this is so awesome in terms of the information we're getting here. Isn't that right, Jazz?
Yes, it is. Very educational, very informative, very enlightening. Whilst we're still on the history of the game, I will play a short clip of blind and visually impaired people and send a call to play baseball. Take it away.
Texas is home to two of the best baseball teams in the world, but for most of the players, it's been years since they've seen the ball hit the bat.
I went totally blind at 12.
Limited vision in the right, none in the left.
No lights, no shadows, just darkness.
But thanks to a 1-pound ball filled with old telephone parts,
pull the pin, and we got a game.
Even the visually impaired can answer the call to take part in America's pastime.
It's awesome. It's the greatest sport out there.
You got to do things a little bit different, and just because we're doing it different doesn't mean it can't be done.
The game is called beep baseball. All players, with the exception of the pitcher, who is not visually impaired, wear blindfolds so those with partial vision don't have an advantage.
You always throw it underhand and you don't throw it overhand like you would a baseball.
There are 6 defenders and only 2 bases. If the batter gets to the base, a padded cylinder that buzzes before the ball is fielded, that's a run. And unlike conventional baseball, batters try to hit pop-ups.
You don't want to do any ground balls because those are going to get scooped up pretty quick.
Sure, the game is a bit different, but if you ask the players, they are not.
I've never let my vision limit me. I've always done what I wanted to do. I control the disability. I don't let it control me.
I realize that I still have an opportunity to keep athletics and sports in my life, so it was amazing.
These 2 teams, the Austin Blackhawks and Bayou City Heat, have finished in the top 8 of the Beep Ball World Series each of the past 4 years. Call them a dynasty. Just don't call them handicapped.
We do everything and anything that anybody else could do with a little modification.
They hear blind baseball and they think, everybody gets a trophy, circles around. I played 5A high school football here in the state of Texas, and this game's a lot more competitive than that.
These players may have lost their sight, but not their desire to compete. Just the sound of a beep speaks volumes for these athletes' love of the game. In Austin, Adam Winkler, KI TV Sports.
This was the first part of Blind Baseball. Stay tuned next time. We will be covering the rules and regulation of blind baseball.
Thank you for listening to Pyro Sports on
Zollyhood Radio, where the magic happens.
Call security!
All right, so this was the first out of three parts episode on blind baseball. Like I mentioned earlier, that we at Zollyhood Radio, we always cover sports that people are not necessarily familiar with. And I think blind baseball is one of those sports that the average person is not familiar with. You know, even just the normal baseball, people don't even know what baseball is so far as for blind baseball. So, but that's where we break the grounds and get you to a point where you can understand. So, like it was mentioned in the clip, that, you know, there have been, you know, significant advancements into blind baseball to help, you know, persons with a visual impairment to be able to play a game, you know, at a point where they can compete and, you know, have fun with other visually impaired persons.
Well, a lot of persons don't even understand baseball itself. So, because and then a lot of persons don't even you know, watch baseball. So for us to say, okay, well, apart from the sighted baseball, there is a blind baseball. Like, I don't even know what baseball is anyway. So,
well, that's what I'm hinting out, my friend. So
it is our duty to enlighten all darknesses, or to enlighten to put you in the know per se.
Put you in the know.
So, if you don't know,
we want,
then we'll let you
now you know.
Somebody knows.
You know, America has been one of those countries where they just do not follow the rest of the world. Whereas everybody is whereas everybody is in the feet, in the metric system, they're still using the feet. Like, no, we're not giving up our feet. We're like, you guys have cricket? Okay, no problem. Irish baseball.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody in the world.
Don't be surprised if America is the first country that comes up with a blind golf game.
I wouldn't be surprised, eh? I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, you just put a ball that has some kind of a sensor on it, and there's a little tracking device. When you bring it, you just use a tracking device and it. Okay. I'm giving ideas, guys. I'm giving ideas. So anybody listening, you know what to do.
Royalties.
Royalties. Royalties. That's what I'm saying. Don't forget. Percentage of the profits. Thank you very much. So, yeah, America has always been an odd fellow out. Just never does what it's supposed to. Just never.
America is one of those countries I call.
Like everybody have football, and then you have American football.
Exactly. And there's a big difference.
All right.
Y'all have cricket?
Even
Let's have baseball.
it's like, and even that, whereas the world call this thing football, they still call the thing soccer.
Oh boy.
I don't know. Americans are very funny people, eh? But I guess that's these are the people.
Wasn't it the Americans who created the National Football League?
I think so.
The NFL.
Yeah, the NFL.
I stand to be corrected, but America is the country. to be. America is the country to be.
Yeah, to be unique, to be diverse, and to be, I guess, independent in sports and everything else. Yeah, but yeah, just as with the world, none of my people play like baseball. I only know a handful of countries apart from the US. I think Cuba, Japan, and a few other countries play baseball. So you could just imagine how many of them play blind baseball.
And it's the listeners now, they have to wait until we officially come back before they hear which other teams or which other countries play baseball, if there is or there is any.
Yeah. And that would be in the new year.
And of course, we will speak of rules and regulation and board and all that kind of stuff in the next clip in the new year. So stay tuned for that. Like we said, this is the final show for the year.
And we just thought that we would end this thing on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
as they will say, this was the first strike.
Yes.
And game set and match.
Yes, indeed. And I'll tell the listeners, we're walking off the pitch like we should and not illegally.
Yeah, we are walking off the pitch after we have stayed on the field and we have made 300 not out, and we are walking off the pitch triumphantly.
Yes, because we're gonna win, and we have won like the English will win in another day or two.
Yeah.
It's just now for the West Indies to win all three games and have the series.
Yeah. And have a series. But that starts tomorrow.
Yep.
At
So
9:30.
second.
That starts tomorrow at 9:30 a.m.
Yes, indeed. 9:30 Eastern Standard. That's 8:30 JA. So, stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Well, we give you ball by ball.
Let's see.
Kick by kick. Smash by smash.
Touchdown by touchdown. Yes, sir.
Yes, this is down the middle.
Yes, sir. Alrighty then. I just want to wish everybody a splendid holidays, and of course, keep it sporty. You know what I mean? Have fun, and we'll see you next year, or you will hear from us next year.
In the next year, I hope Santa Claus bring you some sporting gear. Would it be a football ball, some gloves, a bat, a cricket bat? I don't know. A golf stick? I don't know. But
A blind baseball kit? You never know.
you never know. Yeah, so like coming in the new year, we can kick off with or smash with a bang.
Yes, sir. With that said, it is game, set, and match.
And match.